he was like, "Yeah, I think Oregon's got a shot this year. I think the Ducks could do it." And I looked at him and I was like, "You realize they would have to beat Georgia, right? Like you realize that they would go up against that and have to do that." And he's
What's
like,
that
"I think
coming down the track?
no, he was talking shit. He's like, "I think they could." And I was like, "Really? You think?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, that was stupid of me to say." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I know." It was just really funny. What's your take on the new head coach of the Wolverines?
Huge fan. Huge fan. Dude, it could honestly not have worked out any better for the Michigan Wolverines. For how crazy the last few weeks have been since the firing of Sharon Moore. Holy hell, what a whirlwind we've been on and the roller coaster to end up in like the best hire of the college football coaching cycle. Like, swear to God, he is that good
The
of a
best
coach
one, period.
of the cycle. Yeah. Yeah, that's like you really couldn't have done any better if you're Michigan. Like it really doesn't get any better than that with the landscape and who's all out there and everything else. So unbelievable hire, unbelievably lucky that he was leaving at literally the same time that all of this was going down. Like I,
Because he
how the
retired,
stars aligned,
didn't
I have
he?
no idea. He didn't retire. It was kind of one of those deals of he's been at Utah for a while, and their
Hmm.
defensive coordinator they kind of had as the guy in waiting, and he's been
Hmm.
waiting for a few years. So some are saying like Utah didn't force him out, but they also were kind of like, like we're also starting to think about the future, and we've got this guy that we don't really want to lose, type of a thing.
Yeah.
Last year, there was some murmurings that maybe last year could have been his year to kind of like step aside from the program, but it was Utah. They just had so many injuries and things went wrong for them that Whittingham was like, I don't want to leave on that note if this is going to be it for me. So then he comes back this year, gets a 10-win season. They're going to play in whatever bowl game that they're going to be a part of, and he made the announcement that, yeah, I'll be stepping aside after this season. And essentially, he kind of said, like, I'm entering the coaching portal because he wasn't done, but he also wasn't going to just take any job because given where he is at in his life and his career, it's like, well, I'm not going to take anything. I don't need anything. But
Yeah.
if there's an opportunity that comes up that I want, I'm definitely got enough in the tank and I still want to do this thing. And, well,
Yeah.
Michigan came a calling, and that was one of the ones that he was down for. What do you say we talk about some Formula One?
Way more exciting sport, Derek. What do you
This
say
is a
we
for
talk about it?
In fact, this is a Formula One based show. So,
Is it?
welcome
It's
back to
news
the
to me.
Backmarkers F1 podcast. That's Ben. I'm Derek. Lace and Grace F1 pod that no one's really asking for, but here we are anyways. The season is over. We are officially in the off season at this point in time. It is the winter break. New regs and everything else coming in a few months here. Everybody gets a few weeks off. Well, sort
That's
of.
next season, not this
That's next
season.
season
We're
though.
reviewing this season.
Correct.
We can't talk about next season when we're supposed to talk about this season.
And what a treat this season was. I texted you that earlier. So
Great season.
today we're going to be reviewing or ranking the Grand Prix, the 2025 Grand Prix. So earlier today, I went through all of the races again, looked back on our notes from when we had been doing rankings throughout the season, but we kind of fell off, and I also realized halfway through doing that, I kind of mixed up our rankings, and so I screwed it up pretty early on, anyways. And I was like, yeah, those are just the same, and I never fixed it. So went back through it, watched like a lot of the 8-minute clips and read some of the like recaps to remember what was going on in some of those early season races.
Hmm.
Dude, what an incredible season we had! Because the ones prior to this one were minorly boring. The two middle Red Bull years, very specifically. The 2021 season was fun. The 2024 season was Not as fun. It was a little better than 22 and 23 though. 25, absolutely incredible though. Just
Banger. Yeah.
there are so many bangers. Now we're gonna whip through some of my early ones though, because there were a handful of stinkers out there still. To be fair, not every race can be a banger because then it gets boring after that point in time.
Yeah.
But what I did notice when I was going through making this list and ranking them again, I kind of had like three categories, if you will, of snooze fests. You're gonna get some. It's
Japan.
fine. It happens. The Japanese Grand Prix comes
Yep.
to mind. Um, then there were the big moment happened in this race, but okay race overall. You
Hmm.
know, like there's always a handful of those where it's like, whoa, like something grasps your attention right away. Like, whoa, that happened during this race, and then you kind of look back on it again, and you're like, yeah, but nothing else really happened during that race. So it's like big moment, big explosion, but it's like it
Yeah.
came out of nowhere type of a thing, right? And then you just have like these were the class of the season races. So that's what I kind of noticed in reviewing those, and I'll
Okay.
be interested to I think what we can do here is I'll go in reverse order. We can kind of talk a little bit about them, see what you remember from it. I prepared some notes for most of the races. The stinkers I did not because they were stinkers, and well,
let's
there weren't
let's
that
run
many
through
memorable
those real
moments from
quick.
there.
Do you want to? I feel like that's probably the quickest way to do it is to blitz through the stinkers,
Hmm.
get into the next tier, and then finish with the good ones. Does that sound good
Yes.
to you?
We shall
Okay.
call we'll call the stinkers the Alpine section of this list of, hey, we talked about them. You got mentioned, but let's be honest, we didn't really care anyways. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's do that.
Shout out to Sauber. Let's go.
Well, no, because they ended up having a good season at the end of all of it.
But we didn't talk about them.
We talked a lot about them by the end of the season.
Okay. All
Alpine
right.
was the very bottom of the
Alpine
barrel.
definitely not. You're right. Okay.
Alpine was
I'll give
the
you
shit,
I'll give you that one.
and not the good way. But yes. So yeah, starting off at number 24 because we did have 24 races this year.
Yes.
I have the Chinese Grand Prix.
Okay. All
I
right.
honestly don't remember a thing about the Chinese Grand Prix.
See,
And I
I
went back and watched
remember
through it and I was like, I still don't know what happened in this race.
I remember feeling a brief moment of hope because Lewis won the sprint
Sprint.
race
Hmm.
and then they were disqualified and that was it. That
Hmm.
was all I remembered. So if this race didn't happen for Ferrari, I mean it's okay that it didn't happen for us. We'll put it
Yeah.
number 24.
Yes. Oh, let me clarify a little bit more on like how I thought through these as well.
Please do.
So I looked at the end results clearly, winner
Mhm.
down to last DNFs, all that type of stuff. Watched the clips or the race highlights on YouTube by F1, and then read some articles if I didn't really remember anything further after that. And then I kind of thought about it as like well, I want to take this as like just the race itself and not the whole race weekend because there's some races that if you take into consideration the whole weekend probably changes some of the rankings. We had some
Mhm.
very exciting qualifying, we had some very exciting sprint races and stuff, but I didn't want to include that in this version of it. Maybe we change that for next season if we want to try to include more of that and we'll take better notes throughout the season, but for this year's version of it, it is, I just wanted to focus on the races themselves because this is very true into the later races of this calendar was once you get closer to the end and championship implications get more involved in it, like I felt like that could take away too much sometimes of like, okay, was that really a good race though? Or was like I was just so hyper focused on one or two things happening that made it a little bit more exciting. So I tried to balance it out as much as I could when thinking about it.
Okay.
So there's my kind of rationale and what I was thinking as we were going with this. Needless,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. China still sucked, so that's why it's dead last.
There we go.
So
Fair
there you
assessment.
go. 24, the Chinese Grand Prix. 23, already mentioned, the Japanese Grand Prix. I ranked it higher than China because at least it was a wet race.
It's
Max
about
won it.
all I
I don't
had
know.
going for
That's
it.
yeah, man.
Suzuka's pretty.
There was a cool livery with the
Yep.
flowers. That was cool, but that has no effect on the race itself. So
with the flowers or
The
the white
Blossoms,
Red Bull.
the Japanese cherry blossom white Red Bull car, whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's what they were trying to give an ode to with that livery.
White Red Bull.
Um, then after Japan, we have Monaco.
Yep. No
Pers-
arguments.
Personally, I think you could interchange Monaco and Japan and China like from a race itself, but
Hmm.
I'll give Monaco its flowers a little bit. It's still Monaco at the end of the
It's
day. It's
pretty
still
to
the
look
glitz
at.
and the glam. Like, yeah, the race sucked, but whatever. It was cool.
Yeah.
Lando won that one, which again, there were a lot of like the big races Lando won this year.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I got. 24, 23, 22. 21, I have Bahrain.
Okay.
I have no notes for you on that. I just
Yep.
remember when I was looking through it, I was like, that was better than these other ones, but not by much. So it goes here.
Okay. Very fair reasoning. I like it.
hmm After Bahrain, we have Belgium.
Yeah.
Spa didn't deliver this year. That's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to every year.
Hate to say it. Yeah.
hmm it's one of the ones I don't want to say that about it, but it just didn't, and that's okay. It's not dead
It's fair
last.
here. It's
Yeah,
fair.
that's the 20th ranked one. So there's room for improvement, but it's okay. We'll try. The cars are smaller next year. Maybe they can pass a little
20th
easier.
still feels really low.
Yeah, but dude, we had some really good races, and you'll find out.
No, I mean you're right. It doesn't feel like we've already counted out four.
Yep. So yeah,
Okay.
Belgium, number 20. Coming at number 19, Emilia Romagna. Early in the year,
Not
kind
Monza.
of the it was not Monza, correct? But kind of the same thing as Belgium. Like, not a lot can happen on that track with how big the cars have gotten,
Okay.
and it's
So
kind of
to
about
be
it.
clear, we've gotten not Monza, Monaco, Spa,
Mm-hmm.
Bahrain,
Yep.
Japan,
Yep.
and China.
Correct.
So that is six off the board that we've done. Yes?
Correct.
Okay.
We're coming up to the penultimate Snoozefest race.
Okay.
So coming in at number 18, right? 24,
Does
26,
this
27, 28, 29,
mean
20, 19, 18.
penultimate snooze fest, meaning the
Second to
one,
last Snoozefest.
yes, the second to last of the snooze fest? Now,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's go with the second to last snooze fest. Then I have a question for you about the last snooze fest.
Okay. So my
Okay.
second to last Snoozefest
Okay.
is Monza. They were
Fair.
the two Italian Grand Prix did not deliver in terms of like a great visually watching race. Very
Yep.
fast, yes, but nothing
That's
happened
fair.
because nobody could pass each other there. It was
Very fair.
boring. Yes.
Yep.
So your question, sir.
My question is, in this ranking,
hmm
we are at the final snooze fest.
Correct.
Okay. Does that mean that this was the sleepiest of the snooze fests?
It was the least sleepiest of the snooze fests.
Least sleepy of the snooze fests. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yep. We are going
Okay.
in complete reverse order, 24
Okay.
up to
So
1.
this is drowsy. This is like one eye open.
hmm
Like I just golfed. I'm watching a replay. I'm maybe in and out of consciousness.
Yeah,
All
type
right.
of a
All right.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
type
a
of
little
thing.
bit more conscious for like Monza. I paid a little bit more attention to because it's
Okay.
Monza, And I was
Yeah.
like, it's the temple of speed. Like they're really fast.
Yeah. Well, they're race
So
cars.
they are race cars, yes. But the least snooziest of the snooze fest category ranking grouping, however you want to play that. I have Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
There was, you know, an accident
Little
there
bit of excitement.
right away.
Yeah.
That was the Yuki Pierre on
And then
on the
that was
opening
about
lap,
it.
and
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
kind of about it. So it's like, hey, like something kind of happened a little bit,
Yeah.
Not
There
to
was
say
a
the
little bit
others.
of decent racing, I think, with Max, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
that's where it's like,
Later.
yeah, like there's a little bit more that happened here, but overall, like it was
Yeah.
okay. you know, it was
Still a little
fine.
sleepy. I feel you. Okay.
Yeah.
Good ranking. Good
So
ranking.
that concludes the Snoozefest bracket grouping
Okay.
of our Grand Prix rankings this year, and I feel like those are fair.
Section 1. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's very fair. That's very fair. So what set these next races above
So
the
we now
previous
enter
ones?
the something big happened, but the rest of the race was to like it was good, but it just wasn't great. You know,
Okay.
either not a lot of passing, like very boring strategy, like everybody just kind of does the same thing. And there's like one big moment that was like, whoa, okay, like that ruffled some feathers a little bit. Could have been at the beginning of a race, could have been at the end of a race,
Okay.
in the middle of it, but there was like one big like boom, whoa, like that's like when you think of this Grand Prix, that's what you think of, and then you try to remember what else happened, and you go, I don't actually know what else happened at that race. Like there wasn't anything else really that was going on. And then same thing, the top of it, this category will be like teetered on a great race, but just wasn't fully there yet. And we'll distinguish that as we continue to move throughout the rankings here.
Okay.
So let's see, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. So the 16th ranked Grand Prix this season I have for you is Singapore.
Okay. What stood
So
out about Singapore?
so the so
Not a
the big
whole
so the
lot.
big thing about Singapore, and I'm double checking my notes here. Wait a minute, hold on. Hold. Pause for the cause.
That was supposed to be a snooze, wasn't it?
No, no, I really want to make sure I'm not confusing this with another track race because hold on, pause. 'Cause I thought it was a different one. Oh, yep, nope. I was confusing it, and that would have been a really bad mix up on my part here. So I have this correct. Singapore is the first of the big thing happened, and then nothing else really happened. So Singapore was the McLaren pit stop blunders with the very I would say like the biggest like thing of papaya rules. This was the race where it was like, oh, well, Lando had a really slow pit stop, so therefore we had to give Oscar a really slow pit stop as well. That's what happened there.
Hmm.
That's what Singapore was. So I believe if I remember correctly, George won this race, which good for George.
He did.
But outside of that, it was kind of like the rest of the Snooze Fest races of like they kind of raced around. Not a whole
Okay.
lot of other things happened in terms of championship implications. This was like the papaya rule race of like, hey,
Now,
what's
do you
going
think,
on here?
but do you think it was intentional that they both had a slow stop or they both just had a slow stop?
I think it was just they both had a slow stop, but it led to that being the online discussion afterwards of
Ah,
hey,
okay.
what are we doing here? Because I remember when we went through our review on Singapore, that was like basically the big storyline from that of like did they come on like let's it's papaya rules obviously everybody knows what's going on like you have a slow pit stop therefore you also have to have a slow pit stop or whatever and that was the well Lando was out front and who gets the preferred pit stop and all that it that like again, not a whole lot really happened, but that was like the big thing that happened in that race, and it was
Yeah,
enough of a thing that it was like, oh, now wait a minute, and it's later in the year, so you know the championship
gotcha.
implications start to
Okay.
come into a
Just
little
the
bit more
start of
play with that.
silliness. Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So that's what I have for you there. I really should have numbered these because I don't know what number I'm on. I'm gonna have to recount every single time. So
You can
20,
number
19,
real quick if you
18,
want.
17, 16. Yeah, let me
You
grab a
just said
pen.
16 a second ago.
Correct. Singapore was 16.
Singapore was 16. Okay.
Yep.
I will
All right, let me
remember
get a
that
pen.
Singapore was 16 while you go grab a pen.
Yes. And we're back. Yes. So Singapore was 16, which leads us to our 15th ranked Grand Prix of the 2025 calendar season, and that would be Qatar. Now, you might go, now, Derek, Qatar was a very interesting race, but this is where I make that distinction on was it interesting or were we very in tune to just the championship here? So that's where again I was trying to play a little bit more of like let's review the race as a race more
Yeah.
than like the other storylines that implicated it
Yeah.
basically.
So
So
what was the thing that happened?
So there was drama in this race that really does affect the championship, which is why I gave it a little bit more of a, okay, you're in the big thing category more so here. Wreck on lap 7. Now, if you remember, Qatar was a mandatory two-stop race,
Mm-hmm.
and they can only do a maximum of 25 laps, and it was a 57-lap race. So, wreck on lap 7, literally everybody pitted besides the McLarens. And the McLarens were the dummies who Ferrari'd and didn't split a race strategy.
Ferrari.
Yes.
Ow.
And this is where it's like they could have won Lando the championship here. However, they messed up the strategy and they didn't try to give him one because they were still playing the, well, either of them could do it, blah, 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 blah thing, which fair, yes, at that point they still could have. But Oscar was very much more on the outside looking in because this was the second to last race of the year, you know? So that's what happened in Qatar. Wreck on lap 7. Everybody but McLaren pits because they want to have flexibility, is what they said over the radio. Which, come on, you
Yeah.
just shot yourself in the foot with
But
that.
other than that, it was a
Nothing
boring
really
race.
happened in that race,
Yeah.
though. So
No, you're right.
the big the only other
other than
note
that.
to make from that was Lando gets around Kimi Antonelli on the very last lap to take home fourth, which was huge for him because then he only needed to finish third in the last race because
Yeah.
Max
And
ended up winning, right?
if he didn't, it's game over.
It's a Max championship, right? So like that's where I'm like, you have to give it some due because it did have very
Yeah.
heavy implications. But technically speaking,
And
all of these races did have championship implications at one
yeah.
point or another. It
And
just
there are
got
so
hyper
many
fixated because it was at the end of the season.
and there are so many moments like this where it's like because it came down to the wire.
Hmm.
Like there are so many. I'm sure that if you removed two of these performances of these big moments, depending on which two you pull, it could
Hmm.
easily sway the championship probably four different ways.
Dude, that was the best part about like going through it because I went race by race because I started off with, okay, I'm gonna rank them in order. I'm gonna start at Australia and I'm gonna go down the line and I'm just gonna like boom 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 like, oh well, this one was better than this and blah blah blah. I did it kind of that way. It was incredible going back through and being like, yo, if this happened in this race, Max is the champion. If this happened, Oscar's the champion. If like Lando doesn't have to wait, like yeah, there
Yeah,
was basically every race there was something that because it was such a minor victory gap for Lando by
yeah,
the end of the year that was like, yo, honestly,
yeah.
the bigger thing for me after going through all of this is just going, holy fuck, Max is good. Because he was out of it in the middle of the season and then he just said, no, I'm not. I
No, I'm not.
refuse. I will win
Yeah,
this thing, and he damn near almost did it.
yeah. No,
Damn,
and
Max is
and
good.
the thing that I think about is that race in Austria where Antonelli took Max out in that corner. I think the third
Mm-hmm.
corner, fourth corner,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right there.
He just finishes the race. He's gonna get
That's
points.
that's the championship right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just that one moment could have added up to a lot more.
And that's why
So
the season was so good because every one of those did matter.
yeah,
Like looking back on it, hindsight, right? Hindsight's 2020, obviously. But
yeah,
when you do look back on it, you go, whoa, how different things could have been. Literally, if one of the many things does change, it does change the entire season. It's incredible. It was so, oh
yeah,
my God, what a great season for us to get started doing this with.
definitely, definitely.
Yes.
What do
So
you
yeah,
have as the next
so
race?
Qatar only comes in at 15 because again, like aside from that, nothing else really kind of happened. Everybody else kind of followed suit. Max ends up winning and yada yada. So then number 14, I have the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Okay.
So first lap Rex, Max wins Las Vegas to keep the championship hopes alive. Um, but the big thing to take away from this race was the McLaren double disqualification. But that was at the end of the race, technically after it had concluded. So I
Yeah.
didn't factor that into the ranking because I'm like, well, it wasn't the race itself, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
there were some moments during, like there was some good racing that happened in Las Vegas. Like it wasn't like it was a boring race. Like I very much remember staying in tune with it and watching it like live at whatever hour in the morning East Coast, um, and enjoying the race. But when you go through the rest of them, you realize like middle of the season is good for it. Like
Yeah,
there was some drama again with Max mounting the charge and the comeback at the end of the season on hey, this championship isn't done yet. I still got a
yeah.
word to say about it
But the
type of
big
thing,
thing was
but
the disqualification.
correct.
And I think not to hammer it home too hard on the other race that we were talking about, but I think that also should be used as a talking point in terms of a momentum shift.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That was a huge momentum shift,
Right.
in terms of the championship implications. So yeah,
Exactly. And that's why like same thing if McLaren doesn't get disqualified, wa- Lando probably just wins it that much sooner. It doesn't come down to the
exactly.
last race. So
Yeah,
like that's why I have it ahead of Qatar and the rest of them because there was still the moment. It just wasn't the racing itself that was
yeah,
is what affected it at the end of the
that's
day.
fair. That's fair.
So that's
What's
why
the
I
next
did
one?
that one. Number 13, I have the United States Grand Prix at Austin. So,
I love that we have to clarify which one it is now.
yes.
Like,
Well, it's technically the only one that is the United States. The other ones are the
yeah,
Miami Grand Prix and the Las Vegas. But I like to say
yeah,
that it's at Austin because I like to let them know like, hey,
at
it's in
Austin.
Austin. It is at Austin. That's kind of cool. Recap on this one, the notes I took. Norris and Leclerc fight for P2 like the entire race. That was
Yeah,
that was the good racing from it. Max wins again here. Um, Overall, like more exciting because of the championship implications. It was a good race. It just wasn't a great race. That's what I wrote down for it. I'm like, it was a very good race. It was fun to watch. It was enjoyable. There was some good racing throughout it. It wasn't in the great to elite category for the 2025 season. And that's
that's
all.
fair.
So this is kind of where that shift happens of like, yeah, like the thing happened, but that was kind of it. Like now we're starting to get over that hump towards we're going to see some more good to great racing happening here. This was that shift for me when going through it of this was a good race. It
Yeah,
just wasn't great when you look at the whole course of the season. That's all.
I got you.
Nothing
Okay.
wrong with it. Very fun. Always a good race to watch no matter what.
Yeah,
Like,
Coda's
yeah,
always enjoyable.
exactly. It's a great circuit for Formula 1. Definitely purpose built for that, right? So, yeah, it does well and it will continue to perform well. I think it will perform very well now with the new specs coming up too.
Let's hope. Well, we're still
Mhm.
talking about this season.
Correct. So that moves on to number 12, Hungary, the Hungaro Ring. So this was
No,
a
I
really good
already ate.
race.
Thanks.
You're funny. This was a fun race. So this was the strategy battle between Lando and
You
Oscar.
liar.
Lando went wrong Lando went long and Oscar pitted twice. And the race comes down to the very last lap of a late Lando trying to, or a late Oscar trying to charge to take the win. This was a very, very important victory for Lando to hold
Yeah.
on. That kind of, I think when we were talking about it, like throughout the season, like I think we mentioned how this was a good momentum shift for Lando on, hey, you held on, you did the tough thing, like you didn't fold at this one.
Yeah.
Like that was a
Just
big,
as
I
much
think
of
that
a
was a big
psychological
turning point
victory.
for him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but same like the focus on that was the strategy between those two, and it was good racing. Just the same thing. Not a lot of other things happened throughout it. That was the main focus of that race overall, but still a good race.
Definitely.
Hmm. So number 11, this. So some of these early races, I kind of forgot a little bit about like what happened. So number 11, I have the Spanish Grand Prix. And when I looked back on my rankings from earlier when we were doing it live, race by race, I was like, why did I have this one so high? I forgot this is the race where Max just went full rage mode. Like he just started, he smacked into everybody. He didn't care. He was pissed. He was on a hard tire at the end when he should have been on a soft. He didn't know why he
Yep.
didn't have a fresh soft. Like he
Yep.
just he just short circuited and he just went full like screw all of you people. I am better than this car at this moment.
Uh-huh. And the crazy thing, and my dad said this, I remember very distinctly when he talked about John McEnroe, who
Hmm.
would lose his mind in tennis, and usually he was right.
Right.
Max was fucking right.
Oh, absolutely.
he was he was 100% correct. The
Yeah.
team were out of their minds for doing what they did, and he let the filter out. Took
Right.
took the filter out to speak his mind,
Yes.
and we
It
love
was
that about him.
I completely forgot about that in the Spanish Grand. That just tells you how many good moments there were this season that
Yep.
that wasn't a first thing to come to mind for me when
Yeah.
thinking about the 2025 season because it was an epic like just short-circuiting rage moment of just why is everybody passing me right now? I was on the podium fighting for a win at this race and now everybody is going around me. He literally swerves into like three people going down
Yeah.
the front stretch. It
Yeah.
was hilarious. Oh, so yeah, the Spanish Grand Prix.
Jeez.
So that that
Forgot
that's
about
that
that.
was number 11. So we now enter the top 10 for you.
Wow.
Top
10.
10. Top
It's
10
gonna get
races.
better from here.
It
Wow.
it gets incredibly better from here. So many good races. Top 10 is this was hard. I debated hard about where to put Spain, um, and Hungary to some extent too. But Spain, I was like, "Ah, is this a top 10 race?" And I just kept looking back at the list. I'm like, I don't think I can put it in it. It's crazy because that was a good race with a fiery moment. Like that's usually like yeah, it was one of the best of the season probably, but that's how good
Okay.
2025 was. So number
So
10.
are we in the next bracket then of things races where that are good races, or are we still in races that were all right but something big happened?
Thank you for clarifying that for me. I would say this now enters into the
The good races.
great races.
Great races.
So Canada, you could put
Yeah.
into either category. This is my
I
transition
was
race for
thinking
you.
I was thinking that Canada was gonna be in the other category because the
Hmm.
big thing is the crash, but I don't
Right.
know. I mean, there was good racing throughout the race,
Yes.
but
So
other
yeah,
than that,
this is the transition because yes, the big
okay.
moment is Norris and Piastri's collision at the end of the race. But
Norris
prior
and Piastri's collision.
Norris running into Piastri. Yes, it was
Thank you for
all
clarifying.
Norris's
Right,
fault.
right,
But Norris's charge throughout the race because he had a horrible start here. His
right.
charge to get back and he was flying too. Like
Yeah.
this was still like that early moment. Lando was still like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you don't go on the inside there and run on the grass. And then two, just
Yeah.
wait for the next passing opportunity and you'll be
And it
around
was
him no
it was
problem.
and it was not the first time that we saw something like that from him this season.
Right.
Um,
That was
so
the qualm with it because it was like, dude, you're throwing it away because Oscar very
yeah,
clearly in the championship lead at this point in time.
yeah, definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
So yes, Canada is that transition race because there was some really good racing going on throughout. You had and it kind of spanned more of the majority of the race too. Other things that happened in Canada, George won and continues to claim Canada for Britain. He goes,
I
"You
hate
you have
that.
not left
I
the
hate that.
empire. I win
Nah,
again."
nah. Independent, bro.
I
Decolonized.
just, I just thought that was a funny for myself. He clearly, I'll say this right now. George did not say that, nor did he in any way like imply that Britain still owns Canada. That is not true. They're part of the Commonwealth, but that is very different. I think it's funny that that's what is
I
happening in
I
the
I
race.
I love Canada. Shout out to Canada.
You are your own country,
I,
except for maybe Alberta. They might want to leave you. That's still to be decided. But
I'm not. I got nothing but love for all of them. Every single province.
yes.
Every single one. Come here, bring it in. Big ol' hug.
So Canada number 10. I've changed on the fly here. Great races. Then there's going to be the final category will be the elite races. And I'll
Okay.
tell you when
All
that
right.
transition is. So
Okay.
we are firmly into the great races now, in my opinion. At number
And
9,
Canada was a great race. Shout out to
yeah,
Canada.
at number 9, I have Miami.
Yeah, it was a pretty good
First of all,
race.
let's be honest. The Lego cars were elite.
Highlight. Best
Those were
part.
awesome. Those were fantastic. But it was also just a really great race overall. You have Max's defense for like the first
Oh
20
my
laps.
god.
He gets around Lando and Oscar on the first lap. He holds off both of them for like ever, it feels like. Lando, of course, horrible start, fights his way back through the field. Good like passing and like position change throughout, like up and down the grid, basically. Miami was a great race. It really was.
Yes, I
And
agree.
there were fun moments of like things to point to, but it was like it happened throughout the
Max's defense.
duration,
Oh my god, you saying that brings it back.
right? He held them off for so, and this was firmly in the dude, the Red Bull sucks, and Max is dragging the life out of that car, trying to
Yep.
do anything possible. So it
Hmm.
very much highlights his talent, highlights the dominance of the McLaren at this point as well. And then
Yes.
yeah, good racing up and down the pack too. So yeah, Miami was a very, very, very fun race. But with that, that brings us to number 8 on the list, and that brings us to the final race of the season, which was Abu Dhabi. Now,
Okay.
so I was a little bit back and forth on this one because you could make some arguments that it could have been a little bit snoozy, but the championship implications, it coming down to the last race and everything around it, I was like, I gave it a little bit more of a bump possibly because of how it just everything culminated with this race.
Yeah.
And this is I'll go a little further as to why I think that. For starters, Lando wins the championship. He does the thing. He holds on. And he holds on in a really good fashion too. Because remember the first half of that race, he's got freaking Leclerc on his ass the entire time, trying to just get a podium for himself and Ferrari, and for no other reason other than that, basically. So Lando shows some very impressive and good, like just sound resolve throughout that race of just not focusing on the task at hand. He only needs the podium. Yes, he blunders the opening lap again, but whatever. He comes home and he does the thing, and he has to do some like he had to not get killed by Yuki Tsunoda at one point in that race. He has to hold off Leclerc for most of that race. Like good racing from him. The other side of it, Max has to win this race. Max goes out and he wins the race in
Yeah.
dominant fashion.
Okay.
Like everything
So
that
from
needed to
that,
happen kind of happens. And even Oscar had to win this race too. He doesn't, but he incredible first lap by Oscar to get around Lando, hold on to that, and try to mess with Max as much as he can.
so from that perspective, it works, and from that perspective, it makes sense. Just
Right.
viewing the championship as a whole,
Hmm.
if you look at it as just a race, it's kind of just a race.
That and I agree with
So,
that. And that's where
so
I say like I gave it that bump because personally I
and I
think that
get
it does
that.
matter enough at that point.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense in that ranking.
Hmm.
That methodology checks out. I, I would have it a little bit lower, but hey, it's still a good list. It's still a
I
good
think
ranking.
that's fair. I 1,000% think that's fair. If you want to move Abu Dhabi down in the rank
Yeah.
order, I get it. I totally get it. But yeah, when I was going through it, this was the hardest one for me to pick
Okay.
because I was like, yeah, overall, like the rest of the race and the rest of the grid, not as much. I mean, we did have a Fernando Alonso who cared in that race, so like that was
always
kind of cool.
always the sign you have a good race,
Yeah, like he
or
tried. It
at
was like,
least that
hey,
Aston Martin has a good car.
right.
Yeah.
Esteban Ocon gets a rare points finish at the end of the season. Like there were some other things where it's like, you know, there was some decent stuff that happened, but yeah, overall, like if you take out the championship aspect of it, yeah, it's an okay race probably, but it was the championship. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, I need to give it a little bit more praise than some of the other ones down the stretch where, you know, there were implications, but let's be honest, they were like Singapore, for example, or Qatar. Like Qatar was boring as all hell. It really was.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I have Abu Dhabi at 8. I felt that was fine
Yeah.
with the way I
That's
looked at
fine.
it at the least.
So number
Um,
7.
Number 7, I forgot about this race, and I'm very upset that I forgot about this race because there was some fun stuff that happened in it. The Dutch Grand Prix, the
I knew you
Netherlands,
were gonna say the
Zandvoort.
Dutch Grand Prix. I knew you were gonna say the Dutch Grand Prix.
This was a very fun race. Completely forgot about it though. I really
Yep.
did, and I'm upset because one, you have the double Ferrari DNF, which was a crazy double DNF. A
Uh,
little wet, mostly dry. Like there's a lot of things that
oh,
happened throughout it. One, you have Hamilton just somehow losing it in the
right up on the
slightest bit of
barriers and
rain.
then smack into the wall. Yep. On the
Kimi
curb.
Antonelli just takes out Leclerc.
Yep.
He just flat out was just like, "You're not going to pass me, and I will do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen." Very quickly after the Hamilton incident too.
Like
Hadjar
right
gets his
after the
podium.
safety car ended.
Yeah, literally.
Like right after.
Yes,
Jeez.
Hadjar gets his first podium.
Yep.
Um,
Iconic.
Lando in a lot of Lando races screws up the start, has to
Yep.
fight his way back through. His engine blows up, and he just completely misses all points because he doesn't finish the race.
Goes and
Um,
sits on the sand dune.
Good racing by
Another one of
Max,
those
good racing by
moments.
Oscar, like exactly.
Another one of those moments.
hmm Zandvoort is a track that just gives you good racing too, with the
Yeah.
banks and everything like that. I love Zandvoort. I really don't want to see it leave the calendar. I have the horrible feeling that the second that Max Verstappen decides he no longer wants to race in Formula One, they will go, okay, you're gone now. And that's unfortunate because Zandvoort is a very cool track.
Yeah.
But yes, I have the Dutch Grand Prix at number 7. Very, very fun race. The last thing I wrote on it that it was a thriller. Like at the end of it, it was a thriller. Number 6. You want to take a guess at what I have at number 6?
Silverstone?
Oh, oh, come on. Don't do Silverstone dirty like that, man. All right, I'll give it to you. Number 6, I have Australia, the first race of the season.
I was
Now,
close.
British in a sense, right? I have Australia. This is what I wrote down for Australia. This was the chaotic wet race and rookies, LOL.
All
Because
right. Yeah, I'll give
it
you
was
that
the
one.
first race of the year. Frickin' Isaac Hadjar doesn't even
Didn't
complete
even
the
make it. Oh,
formation lap.
man.
Jack Doohan crashes on the first lap. Remember Jack Doohan?
Jack
That
Doohan was
was
still racing.
that was the hilarious part about going through the early races is I was like, ooh, maybe Jack Doohan wasn't that good because he like
You look
crashed
back.
in every race
Who?
he was in. It was
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was the first race of the season. Basically, all of the rookies didn't finish. Like all of the non-finishers in this race were essentially just the rookies. They couldn't handle the wet track in their first Grand Prix. It was very funny. Lando wins. Oscar ends up in trouble and finishes in 7th. It was everybody was spinning. Like this was in like when you think back on like what was the wet race of the season, it was Australia. There were a lot of wet races. There were a lot of races with rain in them, but the true chaos of a wet race happened at Australia, and that gets a lot of praise from me always.
There
So
we
I
go.
have it at number 6. I think you can argue on the quality of the racing because of it being wet and stuff, but I think that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, it was still fun, and you still got the fun result with, you know, the little slip from Oscar at the very end that
hmm
screwed up his. I think he was on for a podium. I don't know, it was a
Yes.
while ago.
Yep.
So
So, but yeah, I like Australia a lot. Albert Park is very fun.
great track.
But we are now in the top 5. Top 5. At number 5, I have Austria. I
Yeah,
love Austria.
good
Austria, I
race.
think I've told you at one point in time, I think is my favorite track because I do think it just creates incredible racing like the entire time. In this race, you mentioned it earlier, Kimi takes out Max. We started the race with Sainz's brakes just lighting on fire before anything even
Yep,
happens.
forgot about that.
You have a great battle between Lando and Oscar. A lot of as typical Austria fashion, a lot of position changing up and down the entire race, the entire 1 through 20. Um, and just overall, just better racing than everything else prior to this in the list, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Up to well, the remaining races that happened after it, basically. Um, so yeah, I have Austria at number 5.
Austria was a really good race.
Austria was a banger. Sorry, I needed to wet my whistle because I'm.
No, you're good. I was trying to think. I don't know if there's anything other than the Max Smack that stands out to me in terms of that race, but I remember
Yeah,
that the racing itself was quality and there were a lot of good, interesting, and fun battles.
that
Um,
is all Austria was. It was the
yeah,
big moment was Kimi took out Max,
yeah,
and Max was just like, "Oh, it's okay, Kimi, come here, let me talk to you
yep.
about it," because
And that
Max
was and
Max looks after the children.
that was a nice moment to see from him.
Hmm.
But then yeah, I think as soon as they got the everything recovered from the safety car, it was just all out racing, racing, racing,
Yeah.
which was great.
Yes.
So what topped
That's why
this?
it's at 5 though, because
What beat it?
it was great racing, and it was just great racing up and down, but it wasn't elite. So we now enter the elite category from the season.
Ooh, so your podium is a top four.
Well, number 4 is best of the rest, and then you have the podium,
Okay, all right, I
right?
like it.
we'll
Still
we'll
elite.
stick with the Formula One theme still, even with the rankings here.
Okay,
So at number 4, now before I go any further and go through my elite categories, I think you can interchange them a lot. My 1 through 4 rankings here,
okay,
um, and the way I rank them comes down to personal reasons for sure
okay,
in terms of distinguishing them. So at number 4, I have the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
okay.
So in this race, Max goes from pit lane to podium.
Yeah,
That's incredible. Kimi finishes second in this race. Chaos in the beginning with Bortoletto's out on the opening lap right away. Hamilton wrecks.
spectacular
Oscar,
crash from Bortolotto, if I'm remembering correctly.
it was a pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
He kind of gets hit. It's not like he does it on his own accord, but it was a good wreck. Yes. That
yeah.
was it was visually appealing. A lot of carbon fiber exploded off of it. Hamilton also wrecks in this race. This was the race where Oscar indirectly takes out Leclerc via pinball effect, and then
Yes.
subsequently gets the
God.
questionable 10-second penalty. So I think when we talked about
No.
that, we were like, penalty, yes, but 10 seconds? Like, I don't know, type of a thing. Um, and then here, in terms of the win, Lando dominates this race overall and extends his championship lead at Sao Paulo. This is when he got hot right at the end of the season and gets a
Okay.
string of race wins in a row. So
Okay.
this is where it was elite to me because a lot of big moments do happen in this race and they happen throughout the race and a lot of big implications at the end of the year too with it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That's a fair assessment. What what could have beaten this?
So we go to number 3 for you.
Okay.
And number 3, this is where I think a little bit of some personal bias starts to creep in on this one. I have Azerbaijan, Baku. And the personal stuff for this one comes in. I love Baku as a track, just generally. This was also an incredible race, though. So, recap on this race. This is word for word what I wrote on this. Max says, "Hold my beer. Italy wasn't a fluke." I'm ready to
Okay.
mount my comeback and re-enter this championship discussion. So that happens at Azerbaijan. Also at
Oscar's
Azerbaijan,
crash.
this is the beginning of the end for Oscar. This is where I wrote down for that. Yes, you have his lap one. This was truly,
After
we
the
haven't
false
seen
start.
that.
The
Right. Yeah.
meltdown.
It was a complete meltdown. It was like, what is going on? One, he qualified bad. He was starting like in the middle of the pack.
Yep.
He gets passed on the opening laps too because of the false start. Then he wrecks and he's out. And that's when we were like, that was weird, but he'll come back. And he really kind of didn't until the last 2, maybe 3 races,
Yeah.
realistically. So like
Yeah.
looking back on it, it's like, whoa, like that, like what happened
Huge
basically.
momentum shift. Yeah.
Additionally, though, Lando fails to score big points here because
Yeah.
Oscar is out, but he only finishes like, I think, seventh, maybe eighth in that race.
I thought he was even lower. Yeah. I think he maybe got, was it a penalty brought him up?
No,
Doesn't matter.
he was minimum eighth or seventh. He couldn't get around Leclerc. He A lot of these races, Lando had problems with Leclerc, which is very funny. But same thing. He fails to score big points. Additionally, though, this is the part of the season where we're like, okay, it's between Yuki and Liam, and both of them have incredible races. They finish fifth and sixth in this one.
Yeah.
Mercedes dominates this race as well. They get the other two podium spots from this one. So overall, very fun. A lot of crazy moments happen in this one, which is why I have Azerbaijan at 3 as the third ranked elite race.
There we go.
hmm Any qualms with that? Do you think Sao Paulo was better than Azerbaijan, or do you think that's fair?
Um, I think that's fair. I think Austria honestly is a little bit slept on here. I think in terms of a shakeup, I would have Austria a little bit higher.
That's fair.
I think I honestly forgot about the double Mercedes podium. I forgot that it was I forgot pretty much about everything other than the big Oscar moment in the big Oscar, like
hmm
what the hell? You know what I
Right.
mean? So really past that, I didn't really think about it too much.
hmm
So
Oh,
that's good perspective too.
sorry.
Yeah.
It was not a Mercedes double podium. I forgot about this. Mercedes finished second and fourth in this race because, huh? Carlos Sainz a podium for Williams?
Oh
Huh?
yes. Yep.
That's right. That was the other crazy thing. I didn't read my notes all the way through. That was the other crazy thing. It was like, where the hell did Carlos Sainz just come from? He
Hmm.
re-enters like, hey, by the way, I'm still here, guys, and
Yeah. But it was
that was
still
like
a
the start of his
great
rest of the
weekend for
season.
Mercedes having
Yes,
Antonelli in fourth.
yes, yeah.
So
George two, Antonelli fourth. You kind of
yeah.
see him get that
But
mojo back
didn't
here.
when did they have a double podium for Mercedes this year? Because I definitely feel like were they in the podium at the same time or no? They never shared a podium together.
They did. It was Antonelli's first podium. It
Yes,
was Max, George, and Kimmy.
in Canada.
hmm
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Okay. All right. Not crazy.
Sorry, but
Um.
yeah, like looking down the rest of like the constructor stuff, like
Yeah.
Mercedes really start to set themselves apart here, in my opinion.
Yeah. For yes, I agree. I agree.
hmm
Um. So that leaves two choices, right? We're at
Yes,
top two, right? Do you
correct.
wanna? Because I know one of them,
Well, yeah, there's only two options left, and we talked about one of them already
which we
loosely.
didn't really talk about.
No, you just mentioned it.
So, do you want to say which one you have number one, and we'll go with number one then two, or do you want to go two then one? How do you want to do the big reveal?
I think I'll give you the winner.
Okay,
And okay, this was incredibly difficult for me to rank.
is it Silverstone?
This one came down to literally one item for me of like, this happened, it has to be number one. And that was Nico Hulkenberg's first podium. I have Silverstone number one. Now, this was also an incredible race. We said it in the moment, like when
well,
we were reviewing these, we're like, this was
yeah,
the best race of the season
but
because it was an incredible race. But it was
but we
capped by the fact that Nico Hulkenberg got his first podium in Formula One. The man has been dying to get one, and he finally did it and was rewarded with a Lego trophy. Come on. What are we doing here?
yeah.
So, yes, I have Silverstone as the number one race this year. Other things that happened in this race. Lando wins this race. And this is also a little bit of a personal aside from the fact that he won this race. This was the marker I set for myself to continue to be on Team Lando for the rest of the season. And boy, howdy, am I happy
It
that that
paid
worked
off.
out. It
Yeah.
paid off for sure. That did not affect my rankings on this, though, is that I then continued my rooting interest in
Sure,
Lando.
Derek.
It did not. I promise it did not.
Okay. All right.
He does win, though, and it was a very important win for him. It was a very important, like, okay, gets back into it. He had a string of bad things happen to him. He comes back, he wins. He wins the home race. Like
Yeah.
that was huge for him. Lewis has his best result of the season here. I don't know if you remember this. Pierre finished like 6th in that race and scores like all of Alpine's points for the season at this race. That's how crazy that one was. They were good. Who knows about that? All of the rookies, aside from Oliver Behrman, do not finish this race because rookies be rookies
I
sometimes.
forgot
And so
about
all of that happened
that.
in this. And it happened like throughout the whole race again, too. So like there was a lot of shit that happened in this race. And again, it was just capped by the fact that Nico Hulkenberg gets his first podium and gets the worst podium celebration on top of it. Like, come on.
That was bullshit. That was one of those moments where like you wish that Lewis was on, or you wish that like
Max,
you wish Seb was
almost
there.
anybody else. Like, come on.
Anybody but those two would have
Yes,
done a much better job with Nico's first podium. So
exactly.
we are all correct to mourn that.
Hmm.
So
Because
hopefully he
there
gets
was
a
a lot
medal.
of tension between Lando and Oscar during and at the end of that race too. Because that was the same
Yeah,
thing. It was heat of papaya rules. This was we were like, "Well, are they going to wreck again? Like this is still relatively fresh off Canada and all that too, right? So
yeah.
yes, I have Silverstone as the number one Grand Prix from this year. Now
There we go.
in an extremely close second place, like less than a second gap in terms of a victory here for Silverstone. I have the Mexican Grand Prix because
Okay.
the Mexican Grand Prix was incredible.
It was a good
It
race. It
was an
was a really good race.
incredible race. The the opening first laps, everyone's just flying off the track,
Yeah.
gaining advantages, giving positions back, arguing over if you should be giving a position back, if you did gain an advantage, if you didn't gain an advantage. There's like 7 moments of that through the first 6 laps. It was insane, first of all.
Yeah.
Lando reclaims the championship here. That was like the whoa, is this actually going to happen? Is he going to actually come back and do this? Um, I forgot about this. George Russell completely lost it on his race engineer when he was defending Oscar throughout it.
Yep.
Incredible radio moment. Also, just
Crazy radio.
one really good racing by him to be defending for as long as he did. Great racing by Oscar to continue to fight and push and get back into it as well. Oliver Behrman finishes 4th in this race. And then you have the last lap chaos of one, Charles Leclerc is right on Max's. Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry. That's right. Lando wins. Leclerc is on Max's ass for P2 right at
Yep.
the end of
And
it,
he almost
as
had him
well as
too.
Oscar on Ollie's ass for 4th place too at the very end of this race. Then you get that last lap safety car. You think they're going to end under a safety car, and then they lift the flag with like half a lap left to go, and it's like, holy shit, they're back on. Like, what
Yep.
could have happened, basically? So that was kind of the one thing where I was like, I don't know if that makes this incredible, or would it have been more incredible if we got the full lap of racing at the end of it? That was my one
Who
little
knows?
hiccup. And then the
Yeah.
Nico thing that was like the differentiator. But otherwise,
Yeah.
incredible racing in both of those. Those
Yeah.
were the class of the season by far.
Now I want to go back and rewatch this season.
Dude, it
Oh
was
my
good.
god. Yeah. There we go.
So,
Well, what a great recap. What a great list.
so yeah, 2025 season was a treat. We'll post the rankings. Why not? Just to give you the list of it all. But yeah, that's where my mind was on this. I felt like I did okay. I felt like I gave it some good balance in terms of how to
Great
weigh it.
list.
But yeah,
12 out of 10.
hey, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
24 out of 24.
sweet. That's 100% too.
Yeah.
Oh, but
So,
yeah. Anything else you got here before we wrap up this show?
nothing, dude.
Sounds good.
Great season.
Incredible season as we close out 2025 here. New Year's later this week. It'll be 2026. We'll next up, what we'll have for
Crazy
you,
to
we'll
think about
have
it.
our end of season award show. Now, the drivers already had theirs with the big fancy hoopla, whatever. Mo was
The
really
stupid
all
award.
over
This is
Lando's
the one that
head
really
and hair and
matters.
stuff. Those don't matter though. This is the real award show. This is the one that everybody wants.
The real
The
deal.
coveted back markers, end of season, whatever award show that we're going to call it. If you want to sponsor it,
Who
just let us know at backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com.
send us an email. Not checking it. We'll see next time. Have we received an email?
Big
Now
reveal
the
at the end
real
of the show.
question is who is going to take home the coveted award for favorite Canadian? It's a good question.
It's a long list there.
Yep.
Some good. I
So
mean,
tune into the next episode of the Backmarkers podcast to find out.
mm-hmm. Keep you on your toes there for that, Ward. There. We'll see you next time.